everyone. I'm just going to give it a few minutes a couple seconds to see if anybody joins. My name is Josh. This is the Main Street Citizens channel, and every Friday at 8:30 p.m. We do a little live stream and we talk about Disney news and anything Disney related, unless like I have recently been to the parks or I'm going to the parks. Then I'll usually do like a pre-trip or a post-trip live stream. We'll just talk about Disney in general. I am nobody. I know nothing more than just reading a lot of Disney blogs and listening to a lot of podcasts and just being part of Facebook groups and stuff like that. And that's how I get any information I have. But yeah, I just go through some of what I found is like the bigger topics of the week. This week, actually, there wasn't much big at all, so it's a lot of small topics. And we just go through all of those little things. My connection isn't the greatest ever here at this house for some reason. It used to be, but now my internet's kind of bogus, so if I cut in and out, I'm sorry. Also, a normal thing to think about is if I go over a topic too quick and you want to still talk about it, say something and we'll go back to it. Also, if there's something I didn't cover or just something that's not even just news related and just in general you want to talk about, just throw it in the chat room and I will discuss it. If you're watching this in the future and not live, we are doing this at 8:30 p.m. Friday night, and you're not watching this live, also leave a comment in the comment section because I will come back and we can interact that way. I think that's it. I see we have a few people in here. Hi, Jamie and Kyle. Hey, Crazy Christine Crew. Hey, Anthony from Welcome to the Joneses. Thanks everyone for watching tonight. There's not a lot of big news this week, so it's a lot of little small things. So if there's anything that you guys don't, or that I talk about that you guys want to go in further, or anybody knows any more news or rumors or anything like that about than what I've posted, let me know and we can talk about it more. Or if there's something I don't discuss and that you guys do want to talk about, then we can talk about that more. Let's see, there's 4 people watching, which is awesome. Thanks for coming, and let's get started. This will give you an idea of how exciting the news has been in the Disney community this week. Baseline Tap House in Hollywood Studios has a sign. That's it. I mean, we knew Baseline was coming. It's on the Grand Avenue. It's going to be where the new entrance Star Wars Land is. It has an outdoor seating area. We've watched Tim Tracker's vlogs. He was just there on like yesterday's vlog or something like that. And he showed that like they're starting to get some like detailed things. Like there's a bike on one of the balcony, like fire escapes. So the area is probably getting close to opening. We don't ever go to the bars really much because we're always with Quinn. And I know that they're all, for the most part, family friendly. We just don't really do it. So the odds of me getting in Baseline anytime soon is probably slim to none. So it's not something that really excites me, but I know for the most part it excites a lot of people in the community. So it sounds like if you are going to the studios in the near future, maybe in the next month or two, you might see that open. I see my internet's cutting in and out pretty bad, so I'm sorry guys if that is the case. There's literally nothing I can do. Every day every Friday, I always shut literally every internet device off in the house, and so this computer is the only thing taking up internet. Anybody who's watching now or in the future, in the comment section or the chat room, let me know, are you guys excited about the Baseline Tap House? Is it something you'll be going to? What do you hope for it? Do you think it's going to be kind of like Tiffin's and Nomad Lounge where... or I guess what we all thought was going to happen with Tiffin's and Nomad Lounge was when Pandora opened, it was going to be crazy. But that never really, hasn't seemed to happen with that. It just seems to be just as dead as it always was. Do you think with Star Wars Land that this is going to be like a basically impossible place to get into? Anthony says, connection is great. That's good to hear. I use a broadcaster. I don't go straight through YouTube because it allows me to do these little title things that the past couple weeks I haven't actually done properly, but it shows me like a little indicator of how well my connection is, and it's been like basically in the red since I've logged on here, so I'm glad that it's good. Anybody excited for Baseline? Let me know. Going on to the next thing, there's Marvel Magic Bands. There's 3 of them. There's Captain America, Spider-Man, Iron Man, and I think that's it. There might be a 4th one. Anyways, but I won't get one because we don't ever pay money for the extra Magic Bands because we're not annual pass holders, but that's kind of really exciting. Like, it's a weird little step around the Marvel character loophole because Magic Bands are only for our park. in Walt Disney World, I should say. Not for Disneyland, and none of the other parks are using them. even the ships aren't using them, so it only serves one purpose for Disney World, and we can't have them. That's pretty cool. Like, that's, I don't know. The designs aren't really my thing. I like Marvel, but I'm not a huge comic book person. I used to be, but not so much anymore. So it's not going to really entice me to buy it. Like, if I'm going to buy a custom one, there was a Tiki Room one that was available not too long ago that I'm really bummed that I missed out on. There also was a Big Thunder Mountain one that I really wish I would have picked up. Not even necessarily to have for the parks, but just to have. But we don't really buy that stuff. But it's cool because it's like, bring some of that merch. I know there's the Marvel place at Disney Springs, and I just feel like these are little ways that they're like tiptoeing around their little agreement with Universal. Let's see. Something to talk about. I'm not a big drinker, so I don't know if I'll check it out or not. It looks cool from the picture I've seen. We enjoy a good adult beverage every once in a while, but it can be intimidating. Like, where we live here in North Carolina, the biggest town that we live near is Durham, North Carolina. And Durham is like very family friendly. Like, most of the breweries that you go to, people have their dogs and all their kids, and like they have board games, and like it's a very, like, if you read their website, they talk about like wanting to like reframe the image and blah 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 of drinking, and like making sure that it's not just viewed in such a negative light, and like it's a great thing. We love to go, but like I don't get that same vibe from a place like Trader Sam's. Like, we will go to Jock Lindsay's, but a lot of times we'll sit outside. It just, I don't know, for some reason is not the most, it doesn't feel the most welcoming. And that's nothing against anybody who goes there or is in there, or Disney. It's just, for some reason, I've never gotten that vibe. We get a lot, like, at Disney Springs, because you can get drinks to go. We usually will get them to go and walk around. And I'm okay with that, but let's see. We talked about Baseline. We talked about Marvel Magic Bands. Next thing, this was probably the biggest thing that happened this week, and it's literally nothing. Bob Iger was in Paris. Disney, not too long ago, took over the controlling stake of Paris. They were not the controlling shareholders or stakeholders of the Paris park, Disneyland Park in Paris. And we are now for a while, and there's been rumors that there's going to be a lot of, I guess, reinvestment into those two parks. And he was there, and there's a lot of jokes on the internet about, if you're part of Twitter, you can search for it a little bit. There's a lot of jokes about him trying to figure out where he can put Marvel characters in Frontierland and whatnot. There's a lot to like about Paris. I've never been, but I watch a lot of Paris vloggers. If you guys... I can't think of them all off the top of my head, but the Walt Way and Simon and Lisa, which is the Reeves family, they're both there like all the time, and they go to, actually the two couples go together all the time, which is great. And if you don't watch them, you should, but they're really great. So I see a lot of the Paris stuff, and Paris has got some cool stuff. It definitely seems like it's lacking, and we have some friends who have been and said that like it's not nearly as exciting as the American parks, but like, I'm okay with reinvestment and doing cool things, but I fear that some of the cool things about Paris, like the walkthrough attractions and whatnot, are going to get looked over for, as we've seen in our parks, like IP-based Marvel and Star Wars things. Has anybody who's currently watching been to Paris? Do you want to go to Paris? On your list of the other non-American parks, what would you put as your top must-do, must-see, must-go-to parks if you had to? Let's say, for me, I would say Tokyo is probably my number one. But recently, Lou Mangello and his crew in Historic Disney, which we're Twitter friends with, have been to Hong Kong and Shanghai. I mean, I really like Shanghai. If you've watched this or follow me on Twitter or see any of our vlogs, like, I talk about liking Shanghai a lot and really wanting to go. But I'd say Tokyo is my number one. Hong Kong is very quickly becoming like tied or up next with Shanghai. And then Paris would probably be my least interested. And that's not a knock against Paris. I think the Asia parks are something that I feel like I'd be interested in doing. But I would at this point really take anything. First, Disneyland though. Still haven't got over there. Let's see, going to the chat room. I'd love to do Paris. Says Anthony, welcome to the Joneses. Yes, I would love to do Paris. I would love to do any park. I mean, I'd love to go to Disney World, if I'm being honest. Disneyland's like first for us, but after that, I think it'll just depend on like what we can afford and do from there. But like I think Courtney and I both agree that Tokyo is pretty high on that list. Fly me to Disney, Hong Kong, or let's see, I skipped. Something Lockwood. They do seem to have some cool rides in Paris. Yeah, like I just like the walkthrough things. If you watch any of Justin Scard stuff, when he goes to Paris, he's been a couple of times. He does a really good job of like not just riding the stuff that like we have here, like not just riding their Space Mountain. Like their Space Mountain's really cool. But like he does a good job of like going through the castle because you can actually go in their castle. It's like a walkthrough thing. There's like a 20,000 Leagues like Nautilus thing. It's a lot of walkthrough things. There's a Alice in Wonderland maze, like stuff like that, and he does a good job of going through it and like kind of explaining a little bit about it because he's really big into the history. So if you haven't watched Justin Scard's Paris stuff, also if you're looking for Paris vloggers, the Walt Way and God, what's their name? The Reeves family. They are vloggers who are there pretty frequently. They're good ones to watch. Hold on, guys. Okay, sorry. Let's see. Fly Me to Disney says Hong Kong would be interesting. Yeah, it seems like the most bogus of the parks, if I'm being honest. But like the fact that all these people recently went there, like, has me super interested in it. And I've also heard that they have the what would it be? Cantonese. Might be wrong with that version of Jungle Cruise, but they also have an English version. I love Jungle Cruise. Love me some Jungle Cruise, so I would be super excited about that if I could get there. I would go anywhere. They are currently rebuilding. They're taking down and rebuilding the castle there, and I think that's interesting because it's the first castle to be taken down. Which I don't know. Let's see. Disneyland and Paris would be on top of my list. It says Anthony Jones Family. Mouse Steps has some great Paris videos. I'll have to check those out. Moving on. Fort Wilderness is back open. It stayed closed after Irma. There was some trees, or I don't know really what was down, but like the Hoop-de-Doo and Mickey's Backyard Barbecue and the Chippendale Campfire thing and the campground in general were closed, but it's back open. There was rumors last week, and we talked about it on last week's live stream, that there was rumors that it might not ever open again, which I thought was a little extreme, but it's open now. It came out just after we had done last week's live stream that it was going to reopen. It was just going to take some time, and now it's open. Woo! I've never got to go there. I was really bummed because I was worried that I wasn't actually going to ever get to go there because, I mean, we've been to Fort Wilderness because we did the Chippendales thing, but we have not done, we have not camped or done the cabins or anything like that. Anthony said, Curious Alex is a great Paris vlogger. I will have to check that out. Or Axel, not Alex, sorry. I'm going to find a photo for this next one, guys. Let's see. There is now, according to WDW News Today, going to be a new PhotoPass thing at Disney World. And this new PhotoPass thing is, here it comes. Boom. It's a Dole Whip Magic Shot. Now, we are not annual pass holders, and so we do not have PhotoPass, and we very rarely buy it. We've bought it before, and we find the value in it, but usually when we go for as cheap as we possibly can, and we don't usually buy the PhotoPass. I see the value, but at the same time, we just do it. But anyways, with that being said, if you have your annual pass, which I think a lot of you who are in this live stream are annual pass holders or will be, starting, God, I don't even see the date, but like starting soon in the next couple weeks, wherever this, there, right there, This is going to be a thing that you can do. I don't know why you would want to do it. I think I would do it just because of how absurd it is, but will you be taking a magic photo with a Dole Whip? That's my question to you. Video output low. Sorry guys, this is not coming through. Let's see. That's awesome. I want a picture with a Dole Whip. So much fun. I saw that earlier today. Curious how it's going to work. Let's see. Sorry if this isn't coming through well. Like, YouTube's now warning me that my internet connection's really bad. But the magic photos are awesome. I would probably do this one if I had if I had PhotoPass. Just because of literally how absurd it is. But whatever. I'm not sure that this connection is going to get any better from here on out. It's showing it's a little bit better now, but let's see. I don't think there's anything I can do on my end to make it better. Oh, there we go. There we go. It's better. Cool. All right. Let's see. Yeah. So, would you do the magic photo? I'm trying to move on here. The Dole Whip thing. I would because it's absurd, but what? I want to know what intern was like. Disney, you know what we need? A magic photo for with Dole Whips. Let's see. Moving on. Ratatouille ride in the France Pavilion. The construction has begun. It'll be done in like a long time. Anthony hasn't dropped once. That's really strange. Like not only is my meter in my little app here showing me that it's not working at all. YouTube now, I have my YouTube over on my second screen over here. YouTube is showing me that like, it just gave me a warning that was like, video might not be coming out at all. That's weird. Anyways, Ratatouille ride construction has started. It's going to take forever to build. It looks awesome. We've talked about this in the past in previous live streams. It looks awesome. It's one of the few things that like I think Paris has that like other people actually want. Like I was just talking about, a lot of people don't really like Paris, or at least have meh opinions about it. And yeah. I missed some up here. Sorry guys. Glad to know we're doing Hoop-de-Doo when we go. That's at Fort Wilderness. Yep, it's back open. I believe Hoop-de-Doo has already started, or in the next like day or two is like back on track. L&R Dreaming, they do a lot of Paris. Yes, I follow them, and they do really good Paris stuff. They're currently in a set of vlogs. I'm really behind, but they're currently in a set of vlogs where they stayed at the Davy Crockett campground, which is kind of like Fort Wilderness. And so many times when I see vloggers go there, they either stay at the Disneyland Paris Hotel, or they stay at the Santa Fe Hotel or Inn or Motel or whatever it is, which is Cars themed. I've never actually seen this hotel, and it looks really, really awesome. Stephanie Lockwood, I want to do Hoop-de-Doo so bad. My son will be 2.5 when we go. I think he would love it. We've never done it. I would like to do it, but it's not something we've ever done. I think we will end up doing Mickey's Backyard Barbecue before we do Hoop-de-Doo. Not for any specific reason, just not necessarily something we're eager to do. Let's see, that's awesome. I want a picture with a Dole Whip. Said Stephanie Lockwood. Magic photos are awesome. Yes, I'm doing it. Hasn't dropped once. Okay, cool. Ratatouille ride. It's coming. Woo! Are you excited about the Ratatouille ride? I think we all are. I think that's going without saying. Giving us extra without taking anything away. And Epcot. Cool. I'm about it. On the last thing, October 1st. So what's the date today? The 22nd. A little over a week, like a week and a half from now. I believe that comes on the Saturday or Sunday from now. It's Epcot 35th. Woo! If you're going to be there, that's awesome. If you're going to be there, let me know, because I would like a map. There's rumor that there's going to be commemorative, exclusive map, blah, 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 blah. I don't want any of the other merchandise. I just want a map. If you know me, I like maps. If you're not going to be there, no big deal. But who's going to the 35th? The merch looks amazing. All the shirts and the coffee mugs and all that stuff. It looks really, really good. We will not be there, unfortunately. So, but if you're going to be there, let me know. What do you guys think? Are you excited? Rumor is we may hear some announcements for Epcot 35th of like future things coming to Epcot, because we can only assume that there's going to be more changes and updates, that not the 2 or 3 things we heard at D23 are it, because Epcot needs a lot of work and those 2 or 3 things would not be enough, but maybe we'll hear something new. Is there something, let's play Armchair Imagineer here for a minute. Everyone in the chat room, leave me one thing, just one thing, that they could do to improve Epcot. Let's see, going back to the chat room. But yeah, do that. Start doing that now, and we'll get back to it. Hasn't dropped yet. Speaking of Fort Wilderness, we're doing Trails End for the first time next month. Trails End sounds amazing. I can't wait to see or hear what you think about it. I've heard good things about Trails End. I have too. Did you see my new shirt? I'm so excited to post it on Twitter. I have not seen your shirt, Crazy Christine Crew. Is it Epcot 35th? I know some people have already gotten their 35th stuff, so... Oh yeah, I think I did see it. It said I seen Instagram. It was like I was there or something along those lines. But I think I did see it. Let's hear your one thing to improve Epcot. Whether it's a ride, a restaurant, an attraction, a tear down, a rebuild, a revamp, a overlay, bring something back. Preferably not everyone comment Horizons in the comments, because I don't know what that is. That was before my time. I mean, I've watched the videos of Horizons, but like I just don't have the sentimental attachment to it, and it kind of looked bogus to me because I didn't have that. Yes, Christine Crew, I did see your shirt. It looks awesome. Not really a big, contrary to the fact that I wear a Disney shirt every single week in these videos. I do own a lot of Disney shirts, but like I feel like I also don't buy that many. I don't really buy that many park stuff. Shirt-wise. More countries, Crazy Christine Crew said. What countries would you like? When they were rumoring Spain not too long ago, I was really excited about that. I'd also be even more excited about Brazil. Brazil's my favorite food and wine booth. Even though we're not going to food and wine this year, like every year, Brazil, hands down, ends up being my favorite. I literally like every single item on the Brazil menu, every year, without fail. So there was also a rumor of Brazil, and it's like Carnival with that. That was going to be awesome. I was really excited about that, but it seems like, I mean, maybe we'll hear, there's a lot of rumors of countries. We've heard like Israel, and we've heard Spain, and Brazil, and Australia always comes up, but Brazil would be my pick. Rainbow Tunnel. Fly me to Disney. Explain more. I don't know anything about this Rainbow Tunnel. Something you guys need to understand. I am like very recent to the Disney community. Like in the past, like 4 years, 3 years, something like that. So like things about Epcot from like people's childhood or even from like 5-10 years ago, I know nothing about. That's why like I'm not a big fan of Epcot. Like that's really weird to a lot of people. Like I don't drink a ton when I go to Disney. I do drink, but like it's more of like have a drink and not get wasted. So like that doesn't appeal to me. And everything else is really dated, and I just don't have that sentimental attachment to it. But yeah, tell me about this Rainbow Tunnel. I am intrigued. New at Epcot. Welcome to the Joneses. Excited about changes, but wish they'd add something extra while all the construction's going on. Yeah, it's going to be a while for Epcot. I don't think we're going to see Epcot as like we want to see it. I think a lot of it will be done by the 50th, but I don't think like it'll be completed until like 2023. That's my guess. I know nothing, and I have no way of like justifying that, but that'd be my guess. I think we're going to see some big changes, like new illuminations or just a nighttime spectacular in general. I think you're going to see Guardians obviously opened, and little things that they can change easily, like they can change that silly Lion King show in the land, and just stuff like that. I think we'll see updated. You'll see like all the stuff they announced at D23 by the 50th, but like just the stuff they announced at D23 for the 50th is not enough to get me, at least me, excited about Epcot. Epcot, honestly, like, if Hollywood Studios didn't suck as much as it did, Epcot would be my least favorite park. I like Magic Kingdom, I like Animal Kingdom. Right now, Epcot is above Hollywood Studios, but, like, once Hollywood Studios has Toy Story Land and Star Wars Land and potentially Monsters, Inc., we've heard that rumor. I won't go too much into that, but there's a rumor that part of the park is going to become Monsters, Inc. Like, that, in my opinion, completely blows Epcot out of the water. So, like, and just like a Ratatouille ride and like putting Mushu in the China Circle Vision show. I love the Circle Vision shows. It's still not going to get me excited about the park. Like there needs to be massive work. at Epcot for me. Dream Finder. Yeah, that's the one thing that like I do know a little bit about. That's before my time, and I agree. I wish they'd bring Dream Finder back. I actually don't hate the current version of Journey to Imagination, but I more want the Dream Finder / Figment meet and greet to come back. I actually also think that Figment and Journey to Imagination is probably as good as done. And I think what you're going to see happen is Figment is going to become like the mascot / icon of Epcot, and he's not actually going to have a ride, just like Mickey Mouse is the icon of Disney in general, and until Hollywood Studios completes a ride, has no rides. I think it's going to be like that with Figment. Figment's going to be like the guy for Epcot, but he's not going to have a ride, or he might make a cameo in what ends up being the Inside Out ride that we've heard rumored for a long time. But overall, I don't think that Figment having his own ride is going to be a thing in the future. Something that has to do with the future. Yeah, I mean, you can give me World Showcase stuff too. Bring back more of the science part of it. I agree. Like, if you ask me how to make Epcot not Walt's vision, because it's never been Walt's vision, but how it was in '84, or at least how it's been pitched to me in the old vintage videos I've seen and like the little bit of research I've done about it. Ask like Neil deGrasse Tyson. Like I talk about it all the time. Like I'm going to do my best to avoid any sort of politics, but science can sometimes be political. When I grew up, and when I was in high school specifically, science was terribly boring to me. I did terrible in science, I just couldn't get it. But someone like Neil deGrasse Tyson does a very good job of making it super exciting and super interesting. So like you bring in someone like that, or I know Bill Nye was there, but like that was a really dated pavilion. Like bring Bill, like a current version of Bill Nye in, bring like Elon Musk in, like these people who are like modern day geniuses, and have them doing stuff with either energy or motion or space and the land. Man, I really feel like you could get people on board. That's just my opinion, and I feel like you could make people really excited about it. You can explain all those things, and they have such a good way of doing it, and I think it could be great, but the reality is I don't think we're going to get that. I think Guardians taking over Ellen's is what you're going to see everywhere. I think all the pavilions, with the exception of maybe the land, are going to be like Nemo and Friends, or Under the Sea with Nemo, whatever that pavilion's called now. It's going to be the Marine Life Institute. And Guardians taking over Ellen. I think that's what's going to be everywhere, unfortunately. Like, I don't mind IP, like, the IP's taking over. I know it's like a big, like, no for a lot of people. But for me, it doesn't bother me, but I'm not feeling it so much. Crazy Christine Crew, I was going to say Spain or some Latin country. Fly me to Disney, I'll send you a link. I will be looking for said link. Epcot is our favorite park. Wish they would do another fireworks show. Maybe a show shown on Spaceship Earth. I think we will see some sort of projection show on Spaceship Earth. Like if you look at like what they're doing at Hollywood Studios and with Happily Ever After at Magic Kingdom, like projection show and Tree of Life at Animal Kingdom, projection show seems to be where they're going. There's no place that everyone can see in World Showcase for a projection show, so it only makes sense that Spaceship Earth would become a projection show. Plus, we've seen them do the Mike Wazowski thing in the past, and we've seen them do the Death Star thing on there. So, like, you know, the projectors exist; they're there already. Maybe we'll see that. I've heard no rumors of that though, but like, I think that's the future to come. We don't watch fireworks shows. If you've ever seen our vlogs, we always have to hide because Quinn is deathly terrified of it. So I don't like illuminations. I shouldn't say I don't like it. I don't care about illuminations. I don't care what it turns into. I've never watched illuminations from beginning to end other than in a video. So fireworks shows won't do anything for me at Epcot. Again, these are all my personal opinions. Like, obviously, illuminations is a huge deal for a lot of people. So, like, that would, I think, be a good thing. I think you will see it. Now that Siemens isn't sponsoring Illuminations or Spaceship Earth anymore, I think you're going to see a pretty big... They might still call it Illuminations or Illuminations 2.0 or something. It's called currently Illumination Reflection Earth. They might call it Illumination something else. But I think Illuminations is going to get updated. Studies once everything in the park will be done... Yeah, Anthony says, once everything in the park will be done, give Magic Kingdom a run for the best park. I strongly disagree. But again, personal opinions. For me, Magic Kingdom is, I mean, I love Animal Kingdom, but Animal Kingdom's not even in the same galaxy Like literally on a 1 to 10 scale, Magic Kingdom for me is like a 743. Animal Kingdom is like a 9 out of 10. And Hollywood Studios is like a -5 out of 10. And Epcot's like a 5 or a 6 out of 10. Like, it just, nothing is even in the same world for me as Magic Kingdom. I could go to Magic Kingdom and I could go to the parks and spend a week and only go to the Magic Kingdom. It's by far and away my favorite park. Like, the only thing Magic Kingdom has against it is food. Food options are really bad. But they have great snacks at Magic Kingdom. Love the science aspects of Epcot. Epcot has potential. I just don't think it's going to go that way. Anyway, we'll see. I always say on this live show, or outside of this live show, I frequently say, like, give Disney a chance. We shouldn't criticize them before we go there, but, like, I think the Epcot thing, the Ratatouille, like, I think we see where Epcot is headed. We're going to see some updates. I think we're going to see a lot of updates, but I think they're all going to be with IP. There's rumor that Inside Out's going to take over Figment. I think there's rumors of literally characters and IPs going into every single pavilion. And I've even heard rumors, like, they don't seem to be as serious, but I've heard rumors of, like, Cars taking over Test Track, which Radiator Springs Racer in California is their test track, so, like, it somewhat makes sense, but, like, you know how we do it, we'll, like, kind of half do it, and it'll just be, like, they'll, like, repaint the cars and call it Cars themed. I think Epcot is going to be 100% IP based, which makes it then confusing with the fact that, like, that's exactly what Hollywood Studios is. It's like, what are we doing here? I don't know. Let's see. I'm an admitted Epcot hater. I will say that. I don't really hate it, but it doesn't do it for me. I don't have the nostalgia of the park. A lot of people do, and I think if a lot of people took their nostalgia out of Epcot, they would not be as interested in it. I love Spaceship Earth. I really like Journey to Imagination. Like, I like its current form. I've seen the videos of the old ones. I didn't get to experience it, so, like, I'm not as good there. But, like, I really like Journey to Imagination. I like the current version of Soarin'. I hate that the screen bends, and I don't really understand why they haven't fixed that yet, because it's clearly CGI, so that means all you have to do is fix the render in the computer and update it, which seems like an easy fix to me, but, like, whatever. They didn't fix the bend in the screen. Whatever. I'm okay with that. I like Spaceship Earth, or not Spaceship Earth, Mission Space. I like Test Track. Test Track's one of my favorite rides on all the property. I like the Grand Fiesta Tour. I like the Mexico Pavilion. I like Food and Wine. I love Flower and Garden. There's a lot I like about Epcot, but Epcot just doesn't do it for me, and especially once Hollywood Studios is done, which we got some time now. If Epcot doesn't announce some serious changes in my eyes, it will be my least favorite park. Now, that's not to say that they're not going to make some serious changes, and I actually like IPs. Guardians is really exciting to me. Start doing stuff like that in Epcot, that might literally could take it all the way up to being my second favorite park. It'd take over Animal Kingdom. I doubt it. I really love Animal Kingdom, but I'm not saying that there's not a possibility that it could become a great park. Epcot, Fly Me to Disney. Okay, I will check out my DMs for that video. Anthony, any truth or rumors of a studio's name change? I don't know. A couple podcasts I listened to have talked about it, and there seemed to be a couple months ago or a month ago, like, a rumor of, like, not a rumor, there was a survey going around, and I've heard the Cinemagic or Cinemagical name thrown in there and a bunch of different variations, and that was also a part of the survey that was going on a long time ago. So it seems like it might be something in the realm of, like, Cinemagic or Cinemagical. I don't hate the name. I don't love it. It kind of makes sense for what the park's becoming, a place where, like, you live inside these movies, you live inside the cinema, like, you go in this world with Toy Story and Star Wars, and then rumors of Monsters, Inc. lands coming, and then also just, like, the 50s or 40s Hollywood, whatever it's supposed to be. Like, it kind of, I'm okay with it. It's not the greatest name in the world, but, like, there was also a name on the list of, like, Disney XL or something like that. That's, like, a really terrible name. And I'm assuming they just threw some terrible names on there to throw people off, but, like, if that's what it turns into, that's, like, a really, really terrible name for a park. I've never seen it either. Stephanie, I've never seen it either. I'm not sure what I was talking about when you post that. I'm getting behind on the comments here, but what have you never seen either? Sorry. When Animal Kingdom opened, I thought it was supposed to be a zoo with some attractions, but now they're adding Pandora, which does not really have to do with animals. I don't think it's supposed to be a zoo. I am not the de facto. Kaylee Jones Clark said, when Animal Kingdom opened, I thought it was supposed to be a zoo with some attractions, but now they are adding Pandora, which really doesn't have to do with animals. Which does not really have to do with animals. I don't think it's supposed to be a zoo. I think it's supposed to be a park with a strong message of conservation, which I do believe they do have. I believe it is strongly focused on like conservation and animal, wildlife, and even planet conservation, which I think is a great thing. I don't disagree that Pandora is an odd fit. I've been to Pandora now. I love it. It's beautiful, and they did a really great job of shoehorning it in there. It works. It's beautiful as its own thing. It doesn't feel too forced together. They do a good job of making it its own separate thing. Something like I'll get there in a minute. But yeah, it's not really about animals. If you ride Flight of Passage, there is kind of like a look how beautiful the world is, and there's kind of a message of like conservation in the like pre-show / like regular standby queue. It works. I give Joe Rohde tons of credit for what he was able to do with Pandora. It works. But I don't think it's supposed to be a zoo. I think it's supposed to be a park with a focus on culture and a focus on conservation and wildlife and the planet. And I think it is that in its current form. I think there's some things they need to do to get like everybody to love it. I think Animal Kingdom is very much a like Disney Parks fans park. Like I see some like the diehards on like Twitter and stuff like that, like Drunk at Disney, and the people who are like big in the community. I think they love that park, and I think the older folks really love the park because it's small and it's all about the theming, and like there's a good message behind it and there's good storytelling. But I think they're gonna eventually, if they want the crowds to come there and be like an Epcot or a Magic Kingdom, they're going to have to start shoehorning some more characters in there. I think you're going to see Rivers of Light have like Jungle Book characters in Zootopia. There's a lot of rumors that Rivers of Light's already going to get an update because people just aren't interested in it. So I think you're going to see like Jungle Book music, like Bare Necessities happen in it, to the water screens and stuff like that. I think you're going to see probably more attractions. There's rumors that after everything with all the other parks are done, that Animal Kingdom is going to see Rafiki's Planet Watch rethemed or re-updated or something to, in some way, shape, or form. There's rumors of like Zootopia, like the city of Zootopia being where you take the train to. Because like in the movie, she takes a train there. It kind of makes sense. Like they're stretching with it, but like I think you're going to see a lot of characters and a lot of the IP related things come into Animal Kingdom. But I don't think it's supposed to be a zoo. That's my opinion. We go to Magic Kingdom every day, but we park hop. We are always at Magic Kingdom sometime every day. See, that's the dream. We don't. We usually buy some sort of, because we're not AP holders, we usually buy some sort of like, the last big trip, we just went for a short trip this past time, and all we did was Animal Kingdom, and then one day of park hopper, and we did Epcot and Magic Kingdom. But we normally buy, like right now they have a deal where you can buy like a 4-day ticket, but you can only go to each park one day. And like you can't, so like basically you have 4-day tickets. Like you can go to Magic Kingdom for one day, Epcot for one day, Animal Kingdom for one day, and Hollywood Studios for one day. You can't do like 2 Magic Kingdoms and then Epcot and Animal Kingdom. Like you have to go to each park one day or just not go at all, and they have to be used within like 2 weeks of each other. So like you kind of have to go through them. But like we got stuff like that. Like it ends up saving us money, and so we don't actually get to go to Magic Kingdom. Maybe that's why I like it, because I don't get to go as much as I do. And like I frequently say that the reason we're able to go and the reason we save as much money as we do is like, when we go down, we tend to go down and not actually go into the parks all that often. We tend to hang out at like Disney Springs and character warehouses and stuff like that. So, just name it all Star Wars Land for Hollywood Studios. I mean, there's been rumors that it's going to be called something like Disney's Movie Galaxy or something like that. Like, I mean, they're gonna get really close to calling it like something Star Wars related. Somebody, you were talking about Illuminations when you said you've never seen it either. I've seen it in video, and we've been there when it's happening, so I've like seen moments of it, but I've never stopped watching it because Quinn can't really handle it, and even if she could, I honestly don't know that I would care to see it. I've seen it in video, and I wasn't even interested in video. Hollywood Studios, that is. beyond the next Pandora movie, I'm not sure about the longevity of it. Talking about Pandora, yeah. That was Anthony from Welcome to the Joneses. I don't disagree. Like it. We'll see. I mean, the first people. It's the highest grossing movie of all time. So like people watched the first movie. I don't think it's going to sell nearly as much for the second movie. But like, if it can not just be like Pocahontas in space, because that's literally what Avatar is, then if they can tell a good story with it, or at least captivate me, I could be interested still. But like, I don't know. We'll see. There's also rumors that there's a expansion pad for Pandora, so they could, in theory, put in a third ride at some point in time. But we'll never see. These were great ideas for... Really, we started talking about all the parks, but really, these were great ideas for Epcot. I think that's it for tonight. Does anybody else have any questions? We talked about the baseline tab house getting a sign. It was a slow news week. Marvel Magic Bands are at the parks. Bob Iger was in Paris. Fort Wilderness is now open. There's a Dole Whip magic shot. Ratatouille ride construction begins at Epcot 35th. Is there anything that you guys want to go over again before I sign off? Or anything else that you would like to talk about before we hang up that's not in my news list here? Who's looking forward to the new gondola system? I will ride it at least once, but with the rumor that there is no air conditioning in this gondolas, however you say it, no air conditioning, unless I'm going to the winter, I probably ain't getting on that gondola. It only fits like 10 people. You know they're going to cram people in there like they do those buses. I'll keep driving. Last Jedi finally wrapped. Yeah, there's going to be a trailer for Last Jedi on October 9th. Woo! I'm a big fan of Rian Johnson. I have been for a long time, since his first movie. I got to meet him when I lived in Chicago. He was at a screening for Looper when that came out, and I got to meet him, and he did like a Q&A with Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and it was really awesome. And I'm really excited about this. Like, I love all of his work. I went to school for filmmaking, and like he was probably like through film school like one of if not like my biggest inspiration. So like I'm more excited to see another Rian Johnson film than I am a Star Wars film, and I like Star Wars. Like it's not a knocking on Star Wars. I'm just really excited for this Rian Johnson movie. All right, guys, I think that's it. I'm not seeing much more going on in the chat room, and this was one of our longest live streams that we've ever done. I say that every week now. Like, when I first started doing these, they were like 10, maybe 15 minutes long. I had a really long one when I started. It was like 21 minutes, and I was like, oh, it's just forever. And now you guys are so good at participating in the chat room, which is amazing, and so many people come and watch, which I'm very appreciative of. Like we end up we're on 43 minutes right now, so like that's amazing. As always, guys, thank you so much for watching. It's Friday night, and you really don't have to spend your time watching me talk about Disney-related things, even though I don't really know much. I just consume an insane amount of podcasts and blogs and other content, so yeah. Let's see, later, fly me to Disney. Any new changes at Disney Springs? Not that I know of. The Star Wars VR thing, look it up. There's a virtual reality Star Wars thing coming. That's supposed to be open, I think, November? Like, first week in November? I don't know where, but that's all I can think of. Guys, have a great night. Thank you all for participating. If you guys aren't already, anybody who's currently in the chat room, Anthony, welcome to the Joneses, Crazy Christine crew, Fly Me to Disney, Stephanie Lockwood, just go make sure you go subscribe, follow each other on Twitter. I really just appreciate your time and your attention, and it means a lot to me that you guys would spend a Friday night watching me ramble on. I do appreciate it, guys. I hope you guys all have a good night and a great weekend, and I will probably talk to you next Friday. Bye.